Landing gear retracted. Power plant capacity exceeded. Frameshift drive charging. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one.
Greetings, Commander. Doing pretty good. How is this for audio? Oh, good. Then I won't have to play with it. Well, I haven't used this setup since the Salome incident. Yeah. I don't think it was 2 years. Well, yeah, we've actually been on this for almost a year, so maybe a year and a half. So anyway, do you go by macros? Is that how you pronounce it? Oh, okay.
Macros, nobody can hear your voice. Your mic isn't on in your stream. Hello.
Greetings.
I'm secret co-host, I guess.
Hello, Jank. I was muted on purpose on the stream. Hello, Jank. How are you tonight?
Hello. I'm doing all right. I had a good nap after we talked, and
Cool.
now I'm up and awake. I woke
Your
up with
audio
some
is a
bugs
bit
on my
low.
cockpit.
Come on, Penny. So, Jank, yeah, your audio was a bit low. Macros calling, Jank. Change my diff.
Testing.
Yes, better. Better change. So I left the base camp to find a good spot for the mass jump.
Sounds good. Is everything all right now? I've cranked up my volume a little bit.
Yeah, fine. Perfect. So our secret co-host and secret guest are here now. Ko has joined the stream. Voice channel.
Greetings.
So Jank, this is Ko. Ko, this is Jank.
Hey, Chank.
Hello, I'm still dealing with bugs on my cockpit. People won't leave me alone.
So
You come over and bump them off if you want.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I saw 3 SRVs on your ship, Jank, and I thought, what the heck is going on with Jank? SRVs. They trying to impregnate the Orca? Something to that effect. So, Ko, I don't think I have introduced you to our usual questions we will be asking our guests.
Oh, okay.
They are fairly generic questions. We'll dive into some of them. But in general, feel free to talk about anything you want to talk about. Have you heard the show before?
Yeah, I've listened to it before the group launches many times. Granted, I'm always being interrupted, and stuff like that. Today is going to be the exception.
I found some questions here for you, and those were the question we asked Mickey Shades when he was on as a guest, and I added one for Mickey. And that was the Rift question, and I guess that is appropriate for you too, right? Because you're also using the Rift or VR.
Using what?
Virtual reality goggles to play sessions in Elite Dangerous.
Not right at the moment. I turned them off. I
just
went
for this
to
occasion, right?
the big, yeah, just for this occasion. Yeah, I'm normally running on the Vive Pro.
I put the questions to you in the message to you on Discord, so you can have.
I sent you a special edit of the Henka intro just for Ko Hassan here. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name.
Schwan, Coach Schwan.
Okay.
Like Szechuan. So, I mean, if you want, you can use my DEC name, which is the Nebulous Freaker. So you can call me for Freaker for short.
That's you then. Okay.
Yes.
Because I looked up your name and I couldn't find a whole lot. There was some info that maybe we'll talk about.
Sure.
Yeah, I searched for you too, Ko, and I couldn't find you. Expect some questions about that.
Yeah, no, I'm be happy to go into that for a little bit. But yeah, Coach Juan is actually back in the bubble. So haven't been able to play around the bubble much because this has been eating up serious amounts of time for the last 3/4 of a year anyway. So it was actually an account I gave to my brother for Christmas and didn't use it.
Oh.
So I put it to use.
So Elite Dangerous wasn't for him.
Yeah, he just didn't pick up on it. Sent him out a small hotess and just never picked up on it. So I said, just send me the account back. So I took it over and ran out here to DECE and did this.
So do you play other games with your brother?
No, actually, he's more of a mech warrior and that sort of thing. I don't play any of those. So
World of Tanks?
no, I don't think he's in Battle of Tanks at all.
I will leave you guys for just a short moment. I remember to put some beer in the fridge. I'll be back shortly.
Okay, I've got mine sitting next to me, waiting to crack open.
Wow.
I'm just giving it the full on the dot 9 o'clock.
Well, then, if we're doing drinks, Chank will let you live on the channel and we'll get our beverages. Be right back.
All right. So, I mean, I guess people are already watching and listening. We're not doing like a real official intro. This is very casual. So, I'm still chilling here down at base camp with everybody. I got 6 people here. A handful have already gone up, but we will be taking off from the ground officially in about 10 minutes, right before 9 o'clock, and it looks like Macros already has a launch site, so it's going to be much closer to the rings on the gas giant we're already floating around for anybody still on the ground. God, I just realized I'm not the one streaming, so I can't do the video intro or anything. Oh, it's good. It was a terrible joke. It's a terribly made video, but I did it that way on purpose.
Hello guys, I'm back.
So I noticed something. You stream on YouTube. You don't do the Twitch, do you?
No, I have a Twitch, but for some reason I'm more comfortable with YouTube. Oh, I cannot see your video, Cenk. I just see an exclamation mark. Blocked.
All right, I'm back in here.
Echo.
Somebody's out here in a python?
Yeah, that would be Jackie. Silver. Is it green? It's super green, because then it's...
Oh, I think I do remember that from last
She just
week's
came
lunch.
down in her Python here. Yep.
Boy, I could actually see who that is rolling down my windshield if I had my VR on.
Dang, I can't see your video.
Christmas.
It's a perfect edit of Hanka's intro. Perfect edit.
It must be secret because the only thing I can see is an exclamation. That's the only thing I can see on my screen now when I enter your link.
I also put it in the normal chat, so
Yeah, I grabbed the URL from. I clicked the link. Is it supposed to be black? You can see a black screen and an exclamation. That's it.
that it starts that way, but then it plays the edit.
Oh, doesn't play anything. It looks very weird on my screen. This is absolutely. I see the top line of the YouTube icons and nope, doesn't work.
I'm wondering if YouTube's doing something at the moment, because I was having trouble with it. Technically last night for me, because now it's morning, but it wasn't loading up like the sidebar.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm experiencing. Here. So let's see. I'm inviting you to the wing tank. Nebulous Freaker. I'm not sure, Co, but I think I've seen your tag on a number of systems on my array around Galaxy.
You may have seen some of Coach One stuff going out towards the Formidine Rift. My first big journey out was to Heart and Soul Nebula. That was my big first journey.
I was actually going to ask you about that, because that's where I saw your name when I looked you up, and then I remembered, hey, I've actually seen these same stars, because you seem to have an affinity for 2MASS, the same as I do.
Yeah, no, I actually went through 2MASS and went through that, and everything that was untagged that I could find, I tagged.
Yeah, my first personal exploration trek was to S171 or whatever it is. It's a little string of like 20 stars or 20 systems or whatever, but when you're on your way to Heart and Soul, it's you can't miss it either. Like, you just see it in the distance from 1,000 light years away, and you're just like, what is that? I need to go over there.
The one that I remember leaving the bubble was, what was it, NGC 1893, something like that. That one's full of all the O-type stars, and that was like my first real big nebula. That was really cool.
Oh yeah, that's the word by that's the 2MASS sequence that I went through my second trip out. That's when I went out to the Formidine. So
yeah, I don't have a good galaxy map to look that up. Actually, let me go in here and do it. Well, actually, I can do it from here. Go.
And I've also visited all the what are the O's stars out by KM Cassiopeia, which is just this weird cluster between, like, right outside of Heart and Soul.
I don't think I went there. North American, where am I finding my spots here? Well, I'm so used to doing this.
NGC 7822 is the series that I just talked about, the S1, what are they called? S171. Yeah. There's a base out there, apparently now. Like a research asteroid.
Where's Heart and Soul? I swung up to NGC. Where in the heck is it?
Yeah,
Sorry,
the lines are filling up the route to Heart and Soul with more and more stations.
I'm still hovering above the ground, but I'm going to take off in about a minute, just a little bit early. But other people are already getting a little bit antsy down here, so
maybe it's actually NGC 7822. Take a look here.
Yeah, that's also one
Yeah.
of the nebulas that people ask about on the forum. What is it? And you can actually see the
We're
stars
all
from
leaving, huh?
far away.
and I'm taking off. So coming up to meet you guys.
All right, we'll lift off and follow here. Jackie.
Yeah, we're going official live in 90 seconds.
And Macros, do you have a wing beacon up? 'Cause I
Yeah,
can't
I
see
do.
you.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Any?
Incoming repair limpet.
Oh dear. I'm being repaired. Thank you, Kolkazat. So we're going live in 1
Repair limpet
second.
engaged.
Good
Well, we've
evening,
been live, but we're
commanders.
going official. There we go.
Good evening, commanders, and welcome to the DEC talk show. Tonight we won't have Henker with us, but we have a pretty good replacement in the form and shape of very excellent Mr. Tank. Hello, Tank.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm all right. I'm doing pretty good.
Good. And not least, but last, we have our guest, Ko Hushan. Welcome, Ko. Welcome to the DEC talk
Thank
show.
you for having me.
Hi.
Some of you may see me out there in space as Nebulous Freaker.
And so that was cleared up. Welcome to the talk show, Nebulous Freaker.
Thank you.
So, just opening my second beer. So, Ko, are you joining us as Ko on the expedition or Nebulous Freaker?
Nebulous Freaker.
And Ko is back at the bubble, I presume.
Yeah, back in the bubble, working on some of the Guardian tech when I have a chance. And
do
that
you
is
have
a slow grind.
Yeah, it is. So, are you spending all the time at the Guardian Ruins, or just some of it?
Basically, with the little time that I've had to work back there, I've spent it all at the Guardian Ruins farming, and then I just returned to the bubble and starting to work on some of the other components.
So are you planning to build a Targoid killer ship?
Yeah, basically. Try and get a ship
that's-
outfitted to beat up on some Thargoids.
Yeah, that's a question that I had, because obviously we've already talked about the 2 mass explorations, but when I looked up your name to try to figure out who you might be, I noticed that there were a couple posts on on Mobius PVE anti-Thargoid forums, where people just mentioned your name as a reference to joining their group.
Oh, okay. It was probably a group that I joined up with. One night we were killing Thargoids. Probably briefly in passing. It wasn't like I met up with them for days or anything.
So you're not joining with the Protect Thargoids rebels?
Oh, you mean the cult that's currently worshiping Thargoids? No.
Yeah. The cult that I talked with Jackie about. That's right.
No.
Or not Jackie, but no, yeah, it was Jackie. Excuse me.
Is that the Far God cult I've been seeing and hearing about?
Yeah, at least that's what's been in the news, is talk about that. So, but I know there was a bunch of commanders that were trying to, basically not be offensive with the Thargoids and see if that would get them anywhere, and I don't think there's been any results from that.
Yeah. So human offerings didn't work. Giving them escape mechanisms.
I mean, one of the things that got their attention that I carried was, meta alloys, but, basically just start firing it out and they pick it up and take off.
Oh, so one was enough, or did they take all the meta alloys?
They would take as many as you shot out, and if you shot out enough, they'd bring in a second one.
Actually, there's one thing I've been wondering about. That is when the Thargoids they leave, if anyone has tried to follow their trajectory and maybe get a hint on the Thargoid homeworld.
Backtracking them from where they've been assaulting?
No, forward tracking them basically to where they jump into when they jump out from this. I've been wondering about that, if anyone has tried that.
The only thing I've tried is taken my courier, which is really fast in the Salome event, and put it on top of them as they're trying to jump out, and it just knocks you aside. So I couldn't tag a ride or get pushed through.
Yeah, I've tried that with the battle cruisers. Didn't work for me either. Same thing happened. Even if I tried to hide inside the battleship, I got ejected. Could not follow the battleship.
Yeah, I'm sure FDEV had that hole plugged.
Yeah. Yeah. It would also be pretty awkward to land in Raven's work study. That would be awkward. Oh, hello, Mr. I'm sorry. Did I disturb? So, Cole, you briefly mentioned Salome there. So you
I was.
You were on the Distant Worlds.
No, I wasn't on the Distant Worlds expedition, but I was at the Salome event. I was in a group of guys that were just running around doing protectors and couriers. And in fact, we had Yamix on board our group, so he was quite a character. Yeah, he seemed to be kind of lost, but it was still fun to hear him come on comms now and again.
I've only heard his voice on his YouTube channel. I've never.
You only heard what?
I've only heard his voice on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And you are talking about the YouTuber Yannick's, right?
Yeah, YouTube Yamix, yep.
Yeah.
The guy that makes the funny videos, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the reviews of the ships are just phenomenal.
Well, bringing it back a little bit, because we've seen that you've done exploration in your main account,
Mhm.
Swan, and you're here as Nebulous Freaker, which you've explained was a account for your brother that you then reclaimed when he wasn't interested.
Yep.
What made, obviously you've kept your main you've kept Co back in the bubble. What brought Nebulous Freaker out here to all of this?
Well, when Distant Worlds left, I was still doing smuggling runs in a Type 6 to make money. I just
Woo,
did
Type
not.
6!
I did not have the cash or the equipment really to push out and do Distant Worlds or feel safe doing it. So I missed that calling, and then I did my own runs out to, Heart and Soul, and spent a bunch of time doing that. Did another kind of round the bubble to Nebula trip, and have always wanted to do one of the big expeditions. And of course, this one came up, and it's like, well, it can't get any bigger. So I signed up, and then with this account available, I knew I could just quickly build it up to an ASP Explorer, get just a minor amount of engineering, and be able to pull it off. Although you've put some waypoints out of my reach.
Yeah. Did you go to Arm's End, by the way?
No, I didn't go to Arm's End.
Yeah.
I think I was.
And Arm's End was back in the early days.
Yeah,
it's so weird to think about, but with that initial rush, there were quite a few people who managed to get out there. I know I passed on it. I just hit the waypoints and then backed up.
Yeah, it is. It's not impossible to read, but very difficult. You have to spend a lot of Jabonium to get out there. Even if you are in a light year and a con 8 Explorer.
Yeah, so anything that got over about just a little over 104 light years, that was just beyond my jump range. So there was a couple of spots there on the western edge that I just could not get out there. So I had to bypass those.
Yeah.
Oh, so you missed on what's it? Manifest Destiny, the longest jump in the expedition, 106.2 light years.
Yeah, couldn't do it. I didn't even. I haven't really pushed this thing to the absolute theoretical limit. I mean, I've done, I think, 102 light year jump. I think it's the biggest jump that I actually made.
So what is your jump range now for your ASP Explorer?
Theoretical limit is 52.28.
Of course, you have an SRV on board or 2 SRVs?
2 SRVs. I brought an extra because if I broke one, I'm not quite as fast as some of the other people around here going back to the bubble during the middle of the trip. So I said, I'm bringing what equipment I need. So I've got 2 repair units, 2 SRVs. Trying to think what else I put on here that was kind of big and bulky. I think everything else I pretty much slimmed down. With the Thargoid action, I actually threw on a beam laser, just a level 1 beam laser, just in case. Never used it.
Well, your chances against the Thargoid with a class 1 beam laser.
Well, I didn't know what the heck we would run into. It's more like I would like to go down fighting.
Of course. Of course you do. Let's see. The most dangerous thing I have run into on this expedition, well, that's actually fellow commanders. The most dangerous I've run into.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me it was your own stupidity. I've only damaged my ship that way.
Oh, no, not yet. Not yet. There's still time for that. But fingers crossed, knock on wood, all that. I hope I can escape my own I really hope that. But I remember, was it Wayland? No, it wasn't Wayland. I think it was Commander Wonderful that decided to ram my fighter. Then again, that wasn't too dangerous because, well, that was only my fighter. And I didn't die anyway, so never mind that. So we have some questions we like to ask our guest. I think Hank has touched on some of it, but let's start with the first one. Can you tell us a bit about your commander background?
I guess my question is, what do you want to know about the background?
Yes.
Do you like separate your two accounts? Do you actually have a character for your Commander Nebulous Freaker? Does he have a story, or are you just like me? You're just a guy floating in the void.
Just a guy floating in the void. There's not much to Nebulous Freaker. It's just a way to get out here and still have access to the bubble when I really desperately wanted it. So it was a way to do the trip and not feel like I was going to miss something happening back there.
So would you say that the bulk of your time is spent on Nebulous Freaker?
Yeah, absolutely. I probably only put in, I don't know, probably 8 hours maybe back in the bubble since this started.
Wow.
So this has been most of my time.
I know that there are people who do almost 50-50 split between accounts in the bubble and accounts out here. So
no, I've actually, kind of thought to myself, gee, did I really need to start up the new character? Could I have taken Ko's Anaconda that's got a whole lot better jump range than this? But no, I then again, I don't know how you guys fly an Anaconda for this long. I just hate flying an Anaconda. I like flying the Anaconda.
Oh, why do you hate the Anaconda?
Oh, them's fighting words for half the crew out here. Better watch it.
It's okay. I cannot stand flying the Anaconda. Just the turn rate is so slow. And the view is not that good, particularly in VR. It's kind of funny to see wires hanging out of the ceiling, but I'd rather see what's out in front of me or above me.
Why is it especially bad in VR?
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I like the Asp so much, is it's got the big cockpit.
So I'm curious, why is it especially bad in VR?
Because you're not seeing the outside as much, you're seeing more of the interior. When you're playing on the screen, I mean, your head's, your picture's only in one direction. That's all you get to see. And just refueling on a star is so much different when you do it in VR, because most of the time you're looking out the side at the sun or the star you're cruising around, and you're picking up fuel that way, where a lot of times when you're working from a screen, you'll just pick a horizon level where the sun's just kind of below your horizon and kind of pick up your fuel that way. So you're not really seeing it. You're not looking around. So, give you an idea, when we mass jump into the next system here, I'll be swinging my head around and seeing other people popping into the system and seeing their, trails going around the star.
Yeah.
And I can kind of track them as I move around. So it's a different experience in VR. It's like you're there, not just looking at a screen where you're kind of limited.
Yeah. So are you happy about the Vive?
Which, the price tag? No. It was a very expensive upgrade to the Pro. But I like it a lot better. The screen door effect, where you're seeing the individual pixels, is much less. It's not perfect, but when you look at orbital lines, they're not all jaggedy like they were in the original Vive. Do either one of you fly in VR?
I have the Oculus Rift, but I get sick to my stomach when I put it on.
Really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've got I'm not really a fan of VR because of my glasses. I have used VR down in
Okay.
Akihabara and everything, but like for some reason the perspective of having the view screen that close to the lenses of my glasses just
Okay.
kind of gives me a slight headache for some reason.
Okay. I wear glasses as well. And what I've done is I used a company that has the lenses ground in Singapore and had them sent to me, and for it's like $120, and they're ground exactly to my prescription, and they're reverse shaped, so like the concaves in the opposite direction, so they fit directly over the Vive lenses that you can get them for Oculus Rift as well. So when I put on the helmet, I take my glasses completely off now and set them aside, put on the VR goggles, and I have perfect vision. I mean, you still get some, from the lensing that they use, I forget the name they use, where it has the grooves in the lenses, which is part of the actual VR goggles. You still get a little bit of blooming and stuff like that, but it's like I have corrected vision when I put them on. It's excellent.
Nice. Like I know people who wear glasses and they're just like, I don't have a problem, but for me, there's something about the way the perspective is affected because I can't really explain it. It's just.
Do you have like real bad stigmatism or?
No, it's just like my peripheral, whatever.
Okay.
Is a little off.
You're
My
saying you
eyes
have
aren't exactly
tunnel vision,
straight
Jack.
on, and so like having like this is why like contacts kind of mess with me too, because I could wear contacts for a while, but I couldn't wear them all day, so I just went back to glasses. Because like having this area of fuzz that's not totally in focus is fine.
Okay.
But then like when I see everything in focus, because it's all coming through the lens, it's disorienting to me.
Okay. I think the only thing that really ever made me kind of sick is if you get on a really bumpy surface on the ground in the NSRV, that will make you sick.
I didn't
because it appears like the heads-up display looks like it's far enough front that it's actually going in and out of the ground, and that doesn't do it for me. So sometimes
I've seen that in just like when you climb up a mountain and it's not rendering quite right. You
yeah,
sink through the ground and you see the grid of the planet shape.
actually, I'm not getting bleed through like that, but it just when you look at the depth of your reticle, out front, it actually looks like it's farther than the ground is. So you get this sort of, as your SRV is bouncing up and down, it just makes you sick. So you're trying to keep everything, level, and your eyes are following the terrain, and the reticle's doing something completely different, and that'll get you a little bit. So if I'm out, just collecting rocks, I like a nice smooth planet.
Yeah, sure. The one thing that got to me really was when I was entering the stations, and I got the depth feeling from the size of the station. That really got.
Really?
But yeah.
See, that's the part that makes it feel like I'm there.
Yeah, it made me feel I was there too, but sick to my stomach.
You got a fear of heights?
Yeah, that too. That doesn't
Okay.
make it any better, but I guess I'm basically waiting for better hardware so I can get better FPS. I hope that will improve my
How many
VR
frames do you
experience.
have in VR? How many?
I can't remember how many I got on the VR. It's a long time, so.
What are you running for video card?
I have a GTX 980.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna want to get up to at least a 1070 Ti or a 1080 base.
Yeah.
So I'm running on that 1080 base,
Mm-hmm.
not the Ti version.
No, the Ti version isn't out yet, right?
I'm sorry?
The 1080 Ti version is not yet.
I thought it was.
Or is it? I haven't.
But
No, we're talking about the 1180s coming out and 1170s, which are the new NVIDIA
Yeah,
cards that are due out.
yeah, I heard NVIDIA was
That's all the
coming out
build now.
with a card end of year, in the autumn coming out.
Yeah, I don't know when the release date is for the new chips. So, but it's coming up. So,
well, I had another question for you back on the back into the universe of Elite. That's all right.
no, it's fine.
Because we had our little pre-discussion, which I'm not sure if everybody heard it, but it was there, and we talked about you've done exploration. You were one of you saw some of the first and closest like O stars to the bubble over at NGC
The
272 whatever 228 or whatever.
Yeah, the
Um,
closest that you see, yeah.
is there anything that you've seen while you've been out here that's impressed you as much? Obviously not size-wise for the system, because it's really hard to match like a 2-mass star system out here in the depths. But is there anything you've experienced here on the DECE that's really just been like a wow moment for you or anything?
Two kind of wow moments come to mind. The first was the first time you put us out on the edge at a waypoint, and there were no stars between us and the black, and that was cool to see this black wall and just nothing as far as I could see, and that was really neat. And then of course in VR, I'm just spinning my head around. It's like there's no points out there, or some of the later ones I was seeing, the Andromeda, out in the distance, I could see that. Now we're seeing a lot of the Magellanic Cloud, on this side. And the other was, ever since I went to the NGC Nebula there with the Type O's, I've always been a big fan of the Type O's with the, maroonish type of light coming off of them. And I believe we hit a system with 3 Type O's in it. Wasn't that correct?
Yeah, I think so. I cannot remember which one. The Serapho A Oasis I see I think that's Type O stuff. It was early in no, it wasn't that one. One.
I could have sworn it was like 11 o'clock or so, going around. It was before Beagle Point, I believe.
So just before Beagle Point, if you say 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. Three Type Os. But I like Type Os, and I enjoy using them to take pictures.
Incoming fuel.
Type Os provides great lifestyle.
Yeah. I've taken a bunch of pictures of, going around a gas giant rings with a Type O lighting, and that's really cool too. Getting a lot of good shots that way.
So, what is your favorite thing you do in Elite Dangerous? And you can, of course, say exploration.
Lately, it's just been this. It's it's one thing after another. There's always something to be worked on, and hate to say it, there's always a grind somewhere if you just go looking for it. But I really liked. I think I was reminiscing about doing the old smugglers runs as a new commander, trying to make the big bucks. That was always a lot of fun, and you're punching it through the mail slot, and you're bouncing off the back wall. You're hoping you don't blow up.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I don't know how much more that's going on these days, and it seems a lot easier now to get into a big ship quick. I remember just back in the day, it was like, God, I'm just beating this out. I'm hitting resource extraction sites night after night and just beating it, trying to make a buck. So it seems a lot quicker now than it did in the past.
Yeah, I read on the forum that someone talking, well, most talk on the forum is about how fast can you get into an, well, not most of it, but some of it anyway. And someone said, oh, you could do that since the beta. And I distinctly remember when I started playing Elite 3 years ago, I think. There was no easy way, not that I found anyway, to get me quickly into an Anaconda.
I don't know any fast ways to make money still, but I have seen videos of people saying, make basically get an Anaconda in 10 hours from scratch, and it's just nuts. But it's a lot of basically power gaming of very specific steps. Get your Sidewinder, go do this, then get a Cobra, go do this, then get a Type 6, go do this, then get a like a dolphin or an orca. I always say explorca. Get an orca and then just do like really money-rich tourism stuff, and then it's like boom, you got your money.
Yeah.
And the system you're looking for is a footy AA-AGO. It's 2 O's, 2 B's, and 2 herbs.
And what's in that system?
Just those stars. That's really about it.
Oh, you found the O-class star.
Yeah, it's a system with 2 O's orbiting 2 A's, or 2 B's orbiting 2 O's that are then orbited by 2 herbs. Herbig AE.
Yeah,
so
EDSM says it's waypoint 21. It's called Blue in the Black. I like that thing. It's a good name. Yeah.
So, actually, speaking of anacondas, how did you guys come into your first anaconda? And
never bought one, never gonna.
So you agree with me? They're not good to fly, or just?
I've just seen videos, and when you go from a Cobra into a Type 6, and you're just like, I can see everything. You just can't go back. You can't.
Yeah, I hear you. That's one of the reasons why I don't like flying the Anaconda. I do when I have to.
I love the Anaconda. It has the.
Well, I got my Orca.
The greatest
like,
view.
I can see so much.
It has the greatest view of all the ships.
Yeah, you can see the whole length of the ship.
I can see my whole.
Like I know my Orca has like this canopy thing that kind of covers up some of my screen, but if I look up, there's so much view above me. That's not also like the Anaconda is a tiny little slit in a window behind 5 miles of metal.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can actually see my paint job.
We don't care about our paint job unless it's a picture.
You guys know that. But you asked an interesting question, Ko. You asked how long did it take for us to get into our first Anaconda, and for my part, I can say that I spent months and months of trading.
Yeah, I can say I technically about a year, but that was not constantly flying. If you want to consider my trip out to the Formidine and then the time I spent coming back, and just in that amount of time got up to Elite Explorer and the money that was required to buy an Orca and a Beluga and a Type 7, that was maybe 4 months of actual play. So
yeah, what's funny about Ko is he's still not elite in exploration. He's still short by, I don't know, 60% of the last rank or something like that.
Yeah, but then again, if he's in the bubble, then gonna take some time. All he's doing is regular mission stuff and not the passenger long range stuff, then it's gonna take a long time to.
Well, no, I've taken him out on multiple tours. I mean, Crab Nebula and Coalsack and Heart and Soul, and the point is really the only time Nebulous Freaker's been out of the bubble is this trip. And the funny thing is, he'll probably get back and turn elite the minute he shows up. He turns in his records.
Yeah.
We'll all be multi-hundred billionaires, or at least 100 millionaires. I'm not sure. I guess it depends. I mean, I know some people are doing more scanning. They're not jonking and flying around, which does then bring me to how are you experiencing the travel? Are you actually taking your time, scanning all your systems, seeing everything there is to see, or are you just like busting through it?
Usually, my bare minimum. I'm not feeling like a time crunch, like I'm behind. Like I like if I think I'm going to make these waypoints and make the next base camp, I usually bare minimum I'll do is I'll hit this. I'll honk and I'll scan the main sequence star there, and
oh, that's too much work. I can't be bothered with that.
Yeah, I mean, I just jump in, start my fuel scoop, scan the star, honk, and if there's something of interest, I'll go check it out. And that's usually the way I do every jump. And it's only when I feel a time crunch that I'll start bucky-bowing it through there and just, fuel up and take off again with just a honk.
All right, well, you should be getting some good money. I know for all the systems I've traveled, I've got like 20,000 systems or something ridiculous. I'm not going to be making as much as some of the other guys out here who are actually scanning, even just scanning stars. Like, the only stars I scan every single time are neutrons, dwarves, and just weird stuff.
Okay, I mean, in fact, the gas giants I usually find pretty easy to scan, so I'll just scan them. Because I can fly towards them and I'm scanning them at 1,000 light seconds out usually.
Do we have the long range?
So I'll make an effort to scan those just because they're easy to scan.
Oh, do we have a long range scanner or do we have the fast scanner?
I don't think I have either. I don't think I actually got. Yeah, I don't think I have that engineered. I'll just take a look here. My sensors were probably lightened. My power plant's got a little lightning. See here. Yeah, no engineering on them whatsoever. They are stock models.
I have the fast scanner on my ship. What about you, Chink?
I don't even know how to check that. I know I engineered them, but I tried to.
You go into modules on your right panel and then select the detailed surface scanner and then show info and it will
Nope. My scanners are still stock, and I think it might have been a weight thing, but. Because I was really pushing the limit. Like we talked about, Manifest Destiny, I had to get there, so I'm literally at the limit. 53.2 light years, 100 boost. 100% boost gets me there on literally fumes. So... Oh, and actually, that's the thing. Well, I guess you haven't... You just said you've only spent a few hours in the bubble. So have you experienced the new engineers or any of the new ships even?
I actually, when I was back, they released the crate and I bought one and just threw some stuff on it and flew it out once, landed and picked up some materials with it and haven't touched it really since. So I haven't really made up my mind whether I like that than the Anaconda or not. So I don't know.
But it's got a view. You can see things. It has to be better than the Anaconda.
Yeah, but in VR, when you look up to the right and look up to the left, you see parts of the ship.
Yeah, you do.
It's not perfect.
No, it's actually
So
not
so you haven't gotten anybody to
kind of a
co-pilot.
Vulture thing about it, and the Vulture has
Yeah, I mean,
the same.
It's not like an app. I mean,
placement.
literally in the bubble when I'm doing just running around and doing stuff, I will fly an ass, and that's my ship of choice to get around. And literally, if I have a combat scenario, it's like I'll fly to where I want to go and have the FDL shipped in. I'm not going to fly it.
So you have a further lines.
Oh yeah. Ko's built up quite a collection of ships. I think he's got 2 storage Anacondas, 1 Anaconda for just, bulk shipping type stuff that he's kind of an all-around type of thing.
Yeah.
I've got 1 for exploration, and then I kind of upgraded the hauler version of it with a geez, I'm forgetting my ships. I'm not back there often enough. The Imperial, it's not
Cutter.
Yes, the cutter. So,
which I
Yeah.
noticed we're missing at this base camp. We're missing quite a few people today, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't see Tess, but yeah, today.
But obviously, the next base camp, I literally can't give away spoilers because I don't know anything. Next base camp will be somewhere relatively near the next waypoint, because it's a backtracking mission. You got to go out and then go all the way out to the end and then come back in. And so it's going to be about 13,000, or yeah.
Oh, I'm seriously going to have to bug somebody for some...
1,300 light years or so to go from here, 9,000 light years out, and then 4,000 light years back in.
I really depleted my jump juice just, back there at that last waypoint. So I'm going to have to stop off and get some polonium, some yttrium.
You can always come back to this system. Got good numbers. Yttrium
Not
at
for polonium.
1.2. At polonium, there's a system directly underneath us that I will give you the coordinates to. It's got polonium at 1.3, 1.1.
Oh, yeah, that's much better than what was here.
It's really fast. I maxed out my polonium in about an hour and a half or something from literally half stock.
Yeah, I'm going to probably have to zip down there after we group launch here and fill those up. I'm running kind of sparse on those, and if we're going to be pushing it out on something, I'm going to need it.
I seem to be running out of germanium all the time. And again, germanium is now used for all 3 objections. I need to stock up on germanium, but luckily that's a fairly common material.
Yeah, I'm sitting on 109 myself. Probably need to get a little more stock of that.
Only have 70.
But I'm only sitting on 20 polonium.
I have 96.
Yeah, it's 1.1%. So I'll put a screenshot in the Discord.
Oh, okay, cool.
Awesome, Chang, because 1.1 is pretty rare. That's not very often we see 1.1 polonium.
That's crazy numbers for polonium. The yttrium numbers here are pretty good too, at 1.2, 1.3.
Oh, that's better than I was just doing back at the other gas giant from where we are.
They are small rocks. I've been told that there are bigger worlds that have smaller percentages, like 0.9, but being larger worlds, they have more flat spaces to drive really fast on.
Cool.
But yeah, everything's here. I've maxed out. That's what I spent my last couple days doing, is maxing out almost everything. But there's nothing out here at the jump site, which is the whole point of it. That's why I picked it.
Well, I've been poking around here and grabbing some yttrium over at the other gas giant, and I think when we came in, I grabbed some geranium up near that first star as you jump in on.
Yeah, that first star is really nice. It's got a lot of good stuff in there. Even just at the first gas giant of it, Are you yawning, Macross? You getting sleepy?
I'm.
Come on,
It's
hold it
getting
together.
late here for me.
Late? It's 5 o'clock in the morning for me.
I think so. It's early for you,
No, excuse
Chang.
me. 7 o'clock
You're
in the
up bright
morning.
and early. But Ko, you
Shank,
asked. You asked us how do we get our first anaconda? So I would like to return the question to you. And how did you get your
okay.
first anaconda?
When I first had enough money, I was doing the bio waste runs out of Cios and what's the other station that was out there? The system next to it.
Sochi something.
Solstice, I think. Yeah. So you would jump back and forth to those, get enough bio waste missions, and whatever the biggest craft you had was, and head out and make the bucks. That's after the Fehu runs with smuggling. That's where I went and got the rest of the cash I needed to get my first anaconda.
So you got in on the gold rushes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
those rushes were fun but strange. Really, who would pay that much money, that much credit for bio waste?
It
but
looks
they
like
pay.
Rojo made it. Nice.
Yeah, and they paid.
Fantastic.
Sorry, Chang. Come again.
I was just saying, Rojo actually made it. He did the last 1,000 light years and got all the way out here 15 minutes early.
Awesome, Rojo. I saw Rosum one system away, but and he's all the way out here. I didn't hear anyone jump into the instance. No, he's not here with us now, right? He's not in normal space.
No, he's just in the normal local space. Yeah.
He better jam it on out here. We're a long way out.
No. He's in our local space. He just jumped in.
Oh, okay.
No. Strange. I didn't hear anyone jump in. But
Oh, it's okay. So Discord, when you're talking on it, it kind of it does what Skype does. It kind of lowers all your other volume a little bit. But I've got my volume cranked up to deafening levels because I'm an old man who can't hear anything.
Or see anything.
Hey, don't! I haven't been able to see anything since I was like 6 years old, so don't even start.
So, can you tell us a bit about your ship name?
Oh, well, everybody can't see it apparently. And I'm sure everybody's like, what kind of obscene stuff does he have on the side of his ship? And it actually reads Dead End Explorer 7.
I see a D, I see a lot of stars, and I see an ending O.
Yeah, it's actually 0. But I signed up for the expedition through EDSM, and I was number 70, and somebody quit, and now I'm number 69. So the side of my ship doesn't even match back there. So I actually created a trouble ticket with FDev on that, and they never even responded.
Oh, really?
So there's nothing lewd or obscene about the name. Apparently they just don't like DECE people, I guess.
Oh, that's strange.
So this is about the asterisk name we chose for that one.
Well, no, they're just starring it out. They're just blotting it out so you can't read it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I just missed. I was talking in Discord. Sorry, I just missed what it's actually supposed to be. What is it?
Dead Ends Explorer 70.
How can that be blocked? How could that?
Yeah, good question.
They let us get away with officially declaring our expedition called Dead End, so it can't be the word dead. Hey, you laugh, but I've seen some really weird words censored in games, you know, and it's understandable because there is a way that people can use things to, you know, just be dicks, right? But sometimes it's really bizarre.
I have a ship back in the bubble that I called Dirty Sanchez. They didn't block that one.
That's awesome. I should call my beluga pearl necklace. That's beautiful.
And I don't get it. What's so dirty about Dirty Sanchez?
No,
we're not going
not
there.
appropriate. After show, we'll talk about it when the stream is over. Otherwise, YouTube will kill your channel.
Oh, really? Really?
Oh
Dirty
yeah,
Sanchez.
it's bad.
So are you saying
Do not Google it.
I should not.
Please don't. We are a bad influence on you, Macross. Don't do it.
Going incognito, google.com.
Oh, God.
Dirty Sanchez. Dirty Sanchez. Sanchez, right? Dirty Sanchez.
Easy.
Penny is face palming in chat. Penny is just she's like, these horrible Americans are corrupting this wonderful European person.
Dirty Sanchez originated in the prawn industry. What's prawn? Particularly films involving.
I think we need to get back to our discussion of.
We're getting very, very far away
What
from
are
the
you?
expedition.
I mean, we've got
What's an
10
ATM?
minutes left. What are your future goals in the expedition? Is there anything you're still looking for?
I'm just wondering
Or-
what's an ATM? Because it's so on the Googles. I'm curious. I must Google it after the show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So yeah,
Well,
back.
go
What
on,
are your
go on,
future
Nick.
goals? Actually, it's better when Macross says it. Macross, ask him what his future goals are.
No, I don't want to talk about future goals yet. I want to talk about where you heard about the dead end thing.
Oh, geez. I'm wondering if Obsidian Ant may have mentioned it in one of his videos or not.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, that's probably where I heard it from.
We got a
know,
huge
kind of
influx of sign-ups after the Obsidian
Yeah.
video.
Yeah, I subscribe to his channel because he's usually got the information about what's going on, and I enjoy his channel very much.
Oh.
So yeah, that's probably where I heard about it, and then of course, I didn't make Distant Worlds, so got to do this one. So
Why didn't you do the Distant Worlds?
I was
He
just
didn't have the money to build a ship to make it. He already said that.
I was just bumming around in the Type 6 at that time.
And that was back in the days when you couldn't make a Type 6 really go anywhere.
Yeah, no, it was just strictly used for smuggling was the best I could do. I didn't even have an ASP at that point, so that was my next big ship was the ASP.
Oh, but did you say you did the bio-waste runs from Seos and Sotos? What was that after?
Yeah, that was after. That was Distance World was probably either still going on or finished by that time.
How long have you been playing Elite Dangerous?
Ooh, good question. Let's see if I can find out. It should tell me in here somewhere.
Real quick, then, did you start before or after Horizons?
Oh, before Horizons.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you started kind of around the same time I did, which would have been what? So it's summer now, so 3.5 years ago ish, or something like that.
That sounds about right. Actually, let me just see what my statistics are. Should have total time played or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh, are you also on? Are you on the Steam as well?
No, actually, I originally bought the game through Steam, and then I bought it directly from FDev after that for Horizons. So I don't think I get any sort of the clocking or information in Steam anymore.
So I bought mine in Steam, and then Horizons came out, and they were like, "Hey, you have to buy the game all over again to get Horizons," and I was really disappointed. And then they released Horizons alone for half price on Steam, and I was like, oh, now I'm happy and I can play it again.
Yeah, I just did the upgrade through FDev and took care of it that way. I didn't have a problem where I had to rebuy the whole thing.
So, I mean, while you're looking that up, if you want to keep going.
Actually, I just realized I can't look it up because I'm not on the right account.
Oh, nice. Fantastic. Back to the question that I had that brought us back into sanity and cordiality. Do you have any goals for the rest of the expedition, which will be lasting a whole 2 months more? It sounds
69
almost
days.
terrifying.
Wow.
It sounds almost terrifying to admit that, but yeah, it's only a little more than 2 months left. Is there anything else you want to do or want to see?
At this point, I've seen probably enough of the edge of the galaxy, and I have never been to Sagittarius or the center. So when I get back, I'm signed up for Distant Worlds 2, so I'll probably see it then. Hopefully, unless
And
they
you
avoid
see-
it.
And you'll see a whole lot of us then, because I know at least half the people who are still flying with us are also signed up for Distant Worlds 2, and I know we talked about that possibly being delayed until December or even next January at this point, because we're all waiting
I
on
haven't heard anything about any delays. Not yet.
all
anyway.
waiting on chapter 4 and seeing how that changes things.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly want to get back and decide which character I'm going to take on Distant Worlds 2. I'm going to take this one, or whether I'm going to take Ko. We'll see.
So that's that covers what you're looking for and your future plans, which is my follow-up. So I don't really have anything left. I think I'm
actually, one of my future goals is kind of shot to hell, because I found out I'm going to be traveling back from South America on October 14th. So I'm going to be
You will
missing.
not be here for the last day.
No, I won't. I'm just totally bummed about that.
Isn't the last day the 13th?
It's
Not the
Yeah, I
14th?
think.
yeah.
I think the
I think
last day
it's
is
the
the
13th.
13th.
Yeah.
I think you're good, Ko.
No. I'm going to be flying back, so I'll be gone for the week prior. Yeah.
Oh.
So even then, I'm going to have to hurry up to finish on time, because I'm going to have a week's less flying, and then I won't be there for the last leaving.
Oh dear. That's the thing about you don't want to go to the edge again, but you do realize when you go to Beetle Point, you are pretty close to the edge.
Yeah. No.
You will be returning to some part of the edge.
I've never been to the center. We spent 8 months now here out on the edge, or 10 months out on the edge. So I've seen quite a bit of edge lately. So
you've never been to Sagittarius, eh?
We're dealing with skies that are really dark. When I log into Koza, look out the cockpit window, it's like, oh my gosh, there's so many stars here. It's so bright. I forgot, and you have Barnard's Loop out there constantly as a navigation aid, big red blotch out there, and you don't have that out here.
No, you only have the center of the galaxy lighting up bright for us, which I have placed pretty much in front of us on the mass jump targets. So I wanted to give us a preview.
Between the planet and the ring.
Yeah, in light of that, I just want to remind you guys that when we jump into the mass jump target, do a 180 and make a way back to waypoint 3737. Otherwise, you will end up inside the center of the galaxy, which would be bad. We're not there yet, and we are not going to the center of the.
So the last 3 minutes here, I already hear somebody. Oh, I hear two people charging. Do we want to final? I mean, it's a little bit early still. Is there anything else?
Well, actually, I want to send.
Yeah.
I want to send a big thank you out to my fellow commanders that have given me repairs, given me, the wing beacon so that I can fly into certain spots and just say, thanks for doing that. That's very helpful. And I know I'm not very chatty in the VR helmet because I'm not a touch type. And I'm not about ready to pull it off, get my glasses on, then type something and put it all back on again. So, and frankly, if anybody's kind of not being communicative, just give me a call in game. Make the phone call. So I'm not afraid of taking somebody I haven't set up in my HOTAS to simply answer. Not a big deal.
Okay, go.
Okay.
So before we actually jump, with 2 minutes left, any final words other than that? What you've just expressed, which I think is great. We do need, in communication. We have a lot of tools. We've got Discord text chat. We have some Discord voice channels. I think we're allowed to use the Expedition voice channel if we wanted to, as long as there's not some event going on. And obviously, in-game, in-game voice and text. But are there any other final words you want to leave us with? Any words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. I don't know about that. See you in the block.
You're in the blind. Those are always good words, and we will see each other in 2 weeks at Base Camp 22, which will be pretty close to our next waypoint. Obviously, everything is relative, so pretty close is also relative. Make your way to waypoint 37 and you won't be that far. So don't forget the group tag, but we are still some ways to that, and we have to go to the tip of this arm and some ways back before we hit the next group tag. So let me end the talk show by thanking our guest Chuan and
Thank you.
Chang Saotome. Thank you guys for joining us.
See you out there.
See you out there.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Oh, nice jump. I actually made it this time. Didn't crash out.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's very good. Then again, this time we were only about 10 commanders, maybe 11 with Rojo.